Now, one of the very contentious questions that happens with a lot of people is, should you actually work for free? Ultimately, if you can get in front of a client and do a little piece of work for them that they're really pleased with, then will that allow you to earn more money with more work that they send to you later on? Now, there's arguments for this and there are arguments against this. And to be honest, I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't have a particular strong opinion about either, but if you look online, there'll be a ton of people saying, no, you should never work for free. There'll be other people that saying, actually, you know what, working for free is a pretty cool thing. If you decide to work for free, you are entering a transaction with a potential client who is giving you, for want of a better word, exposure in return for you providing your time. That in itself is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is highly dependent on who that client is, what they are asking for, and how much exposure they can subsequently give you. If that is a local shop down the road that is going to demand 50 hours of your time in order to turn around a project, is that worth it? Probably not. If it is a few hours of consultancy time that opens you up to a much bigger client, then yeah, that actually might be something that would be worth investing in. In this instance, because everything is starting off and everything is new, you need to essentially find your feet and find what you're comfortable with. If you have got loads of time on your hand and you're quite happy and prepared to do this for additional work, then give it a go and see what happens. If the fact that you're already working a full-time job and you're already investing in setting up in digital marketing and you're expected to invest, a great deal of hours on top of that in order to, potentially win a job, it might not be worth it. What you've got to bear in mind is that with all of this, and we'll come back to this as well, that, being a digital marketing freelancer means that you potentially have an entire planet's worth of businesses that you can get in front of. They may not be the ideal businesses at this stage, but there is an awful lot of work out there and there's an awful lot of money out there as well. So unless it is a client which you are really, really, really passionate about working with, there's probably going to be someone else that's going to come along in their place and be able to work with you. As I say, in each of these instances, wait and see who comes along and make that judgment first. If anyone asks you point blank, can you do this as a concept? Can you do this as a piece of advice? And, then we'll talk. Certainly have a think about it and see how comfortable you feel or not. The only other thing to say is again, how it comes back to a client. If a client is specifically contacting you and asking for work for free in return for whatever, they are already setting up a relationship with you whereby they know that they can get work for free. So it puts you on the back foot, as it were, so that when it comes to the point of actually, asking for money, it is a harder negotiation when ultimately they can turn around and go, well, can't I give you more exposure in return for more of your free work? I've had instances where businesses have come along to me and said, oh, well, actually, we'd like you to, do all this work for free. And we'd also like you to put in the marketing budget in order to be able to advertise our product, but we'll give you a commission on top of any sales that you make. And you just think, well, hang on a sec. Ultimately, with an awful lot of work and an awful lot of effort and, spending some money, it could provide a great return. It could be a very good investment. But if you're going to be looking at investing in other businesses, you may as well be investing in your own business instead. There's no point making someone else richer and you getting a fraction of it when you can either invest in your own things or ultimately just work up front for people in return for money in a regular transaction. So as I say, there are no easy answers with this, but if it happens, sit down and work out if you feel comfortable in doing so with the client and what the client has proposed. It's also a case that you don't have to go back and say, oh yes, I am going to work for free, or no, I'm not. Remember, with all of this, it is a form of negotiation and you can quite easily counter-offer. You could counter-offer by saying, well, you pay me half now, and then if you're satisfied, you pay me half on completion. It's all a game, and it's one that you're going to have to sort of work out what works for you. But that's my take on how you should work for free or not work for free. I stuck some links in so you can have a look at some of the arguments for and against, and you can make up your own mind to see what you'd like to do.